You can see he's already slightly off balance here due to the first part of the defense and then me already pulling on the spear. But you should be able to extend it even further out and drag him into the technique. And then I'm straightening out my arm to be able to land the cut, in this case at the low level. Why do we go for the low level? Typically, the deeper you are in a stance, the lower you go, the easier it is to attack a low line target than it is to attack a high line target. So that's why we typically go for, in this case, the knee or the ankle. And this is closest to how we do the technique in the form. Now compare this to the previous variation that I showed of this technique, it's slightly different. The form is on the left, then chop the tiger and returning horse carrying bell. So picking star on the left, chop the tiger, and we finish with returning horse carrying a bell. So you're going to step with your right foot, immediately transfer weight, then shift the weight to the other side, and then make a jumping movement, which I will explain in more detail a little bit later. So step in, chop, go to, you withdraw the saber as you lean in. So you lean in like you do in Pet the Horse High in the long form, in the hand form, and you withdraw the saber so your palm is facing up, the edge of the saber is up. Your left hand comes down on top of your right hand. All this begins and ends at the same time, as you see here. So bringing the hands together at the same time. Flying oblique style, advance and chop with the saber, swivel and chop, searching the sea, and then sweeping across 1,000 soldiers. So once again, flying oblique, advance and chop with the saber, swivel and chop. Do is make a diagonal cut about 45 degrees from right high to left low, and then from left high to right low. Imagine these two angles as you work, so making sure that you hit at the right angle, more or less along 45 degrees. Why I mention all the different variations of how this can play out, different scenarios, and why I say the caveats. You won't always have, the best opportunity to do to follow the proverb of exactly moving first. Sometimes you'll be late. It's because there's a reality of self-defense. There's a reality of real-world violence that is sometimes not clear enough in these old proverbs. The reason why is that we are not living in China, in the China of 300-400 years ago. We're living in modern times. It's 2025 as I record this. So we live in a very different time. We also live in a very different culture. And a lot of the assumptions that we might have now about violence will not be the same as those several hundred years ago in China. So we have to bridge somehow that difference in time and culture and era and how things were back then versus how they are now. So many of these proverbs and texts on strategy and tactics and so on, whether it's Tai Chi Chuan or other martial arts, there are often many assumptions that